Hi everyone and welcome back to the July Monthly WARNO Tournament. Today we are watching Jasp vs Bubble Baathist. Now, I've not really watched Bubble Baathist play before. I think he's new to this tournament, unless someone's changed their name. But the real question is, will he sink or swim? Oh, there are so many horrendous puns and dad jokes coming the way of Bubble Baathist. With a name like that, you're begging for it, I'm sorry. Jasp is playing as the 2nd Panzer Grenadiers and is already way up to the front line. Already capped Echo. On the other side, we have Bubble Baathist playing as the 39th Infantry in red. And he's a little bit slower off the mark, but he will get there pretty quickly. Interesting spread of units, actually, for Bubble Baathist. He sent quite a lot towards Charlie. There's a bomber coming in for his units already. More reinforcements being called in there. Unfortunately, I don't think these guys are going to fare too well versus the Lux. Very little at the bottom in Alpha in terms of defense for Bubble Baathist, and there's quite a lot of reinforcements heading that way for Jasp now. This should be an interesting game because the spread of units at the start is a little different to what I usually expect. I usually expect lots up here for Jasp and stuff coming around this way for Bubble Baathist, but he's kind of coming down the middle of the map instead. So that's a slightly different strategy. He is at risk of this Milan hitting him effectively from the side, might I add. Now, my Milans always miss. If that one hits us... Oh, it's alright, it veered off. Bomber came in, dropped there, but has missed those infantry. They have pushed forward. The Lux is on the run. I think, looking at the map, though, Jasp could equally make a push on this point here. You see, Bubble Baathist isn't at the edge of the point. He's kind of in it. So he's not going to be able to fend off units getting close to this edge. He's just going to be sort of defending the town once they're in there. Whereas I feel like Jasp's in a slightly better position, but he's going to be overwhelmed. Because there's a lot coming in that way. Yeah, that's really interesting that he sort of sent stuff down that main road. It's a different approach to what we usually see. Cluster bomber coming in there. We'll be going for that T-80BV. And we'll be killing it. It's not moving. Very nice strike. Did kill another little vehicle there on the edge as well. I'm not quite sure what happened to that. I felt like another box vanished. Maybe I'm imagining it. These guys getting some shots off in defense. Lots of reinforcements coming in for this push now, though. He does have that Leo there, which will be of great help. I think Bubble Baathist will be disappointed to have lost his tank. Reinforcements being called in here as well now for Jasp. It feels like right now Jasp has more on the field, but at this stage of the game it doesn't make a huge difference. Obviously points ticking up for Jasp at currently +3. There is a command coming in for Bubble Baathist there. But the real question is can Bubble Baathist wash Jasp away from Charlie? Oh, so many terrible dad jokes. Jasp's going heavy with the bombers this game. There's an Su-27S in for Bubble Baathist. Good choice. Because there's not much AA on the ground. Oh, there is actually some AA over here. It's a Hawk. He needs to be careful with that Su-27S. But he's in there. Look at this. Bubble Baathist doing a really good job. He's in Charlie. And he's probably in a better position right now in terms of he's actually in Charlie. Whereas Jasp's still just on the edge here. Though Bubble Baathist really needs to reinforce Alpha. Like, urgently. Because there's 2 squads of infantry there. And 2 squads there. Sapri will be good close up. BMP-1PG there as well, but that's not going to be used. I don't know. Jasp's now concentrating on calling in stuff for Charlie. These units are a bit far back in Charlie for Bubble Baathist. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to push hard here before he gets overwhelmed at the bottom. I'd even consider bringing that BRDM-2 down. I mean, I know it's only got a couple of machine guns, but at least it's a bit of extra firepower. Reinforcements are coming in now. A couple of squads of Motor Strelki. This is the only thing, is the infantry coming in for the 39th can be quite slow. So you've got to sort of pre-predict where you're going to need them, because by the time they get there, it might be too late, and it's going to be too late. Whereas, you know, Pioneer Flams coming in here, really good choice by Jasp. Pioneer Flams with a hand flam patron. Command has been pulled out of that point as well. Currently +3 to Bubble Baathist, but it's really not going to make a difference. He's going to lose that command because these reinforcements aren't going to get there before Jasp has killed these infantry. Then it depends on how fast Jasp pushes up, but he probably will kill that command. Jasp's not the most aggressive player, but reasonably aggressive. And right now his call-ins are pretty on point. He's getting the right units to the right place at the right time. I feel like, unfortunately, Bubble Baathist just a wee bit slower there. He's putting one of those bath bombs and it's just fizzled away to nothing. That was a particularly bad one. I am so sorry. HE bomber coming in at the bottom there. Is this going to help? There is also an Eyehawk there. Very nice strike. Did kill some stuff. And the bomber will get out alive. These little HE bombers still coming in up here, but yeah. Bubble Baathist's little push completely overwhelmed there. He didn't move in these vehicles. It could have been beneficial to have pushed them up to the other side to try and shoot the reinforcement vehicles as they came in from Jasp. Might have kept them at an arm's length, especially those hand flam patrons, which are obviously very good. AA Jet took that out. He's at real risk, and that's it, dead. He's lost his AA Jet. Tornado was coming in there as well, but yeah, the Eyehawk finished that off. So the AA got the bomber, but yeah. Flying straight over an Eyehawk like that. Bad position to be in. Very nice Jasp. I like to see a look sat at the back here or some kind of recon. I'm appreciating that. Nice to see someone doing the same thing I would. It's hard to say right now. Bubble Baathist on the back foot in terms of points, and realistically, you know, Jasp is in this point now. And there's one squad of infantry. And there's a command who is going to die very soon. I'd have pulled that out already, I think. That said, Jasp isn't really being, as I say, he's sort of semi-aggressive player. He's not really pushing up to find and kill a command. So he probably doesn't realise that it's right next to him with no defence. Bubble Bath is trying very hard to get back into this point. Really needs to utilise vehicles here. But there are Jaeger there now, so against the hand flam patrons it would have been great. But there are Jaeger at the front, so the vehicles aren't going to be as much use anyway. This is going to be a difficult push for Bubble Baathist now. Good choice with Sapri RPOs, of course. Doing as much damage as they once did to infantry and buildings, are they? You see those rockets going out every so often. They're out of rockets now as well. Really need some supply up here. I think that's the thing. If you're bringing in something like Sapri RPO, you really need to bring supply in with them now, because they have so few shots. Bubble Baathist losing a jet there, possibly going to lose a second one. Well, the Tornado's pulling out, actually. Ah, Jasper's finally moved and is killing the command here. And Jasper in a reasonably good control at this point now. 30 minutes left to go in this game. Interesting manoeuvre here from Bubble Baathist, trying to push around the back, but that Leopard is moving up to meet him. Nice idea. I think the attempt was going to be to get around the back there, but at this stage I'd have been thinking about bringing stuff in at this top end as well and trying to sort of get a semicircle assault on this point. He's lacking a tank at this side, for example, to distract the tanks. Fortunately, I just don't think he's going to get back in here. I think he's in major trouble. Lux is going around here, probably going to try and kill that Mortstrelky commander, if it can find it. I'm just looking for ways that Bubble Baathist could pull this back now. I think this is an unfortunate, fruitless exercise now. He's not going to get back into Charlie. There's a chance he can get back into Alpha, because Jasper units are very spread out. And though Jasper's currently +6, could very easily have a points victory, the way things are going. Especially if he manages to kill that command. Bringing in another command there to stop the points ticking up, but these Mortstrelky are semi-surviving, but supply trucks in there for Jasp. You see, this is the difference. Look at the map for Jasp here. Supply truck, supply truck, supply truck, supply truck, supply truck, supply truck, supply truck. That's 7 supply trucks that I can count. Sorry, 8 supply trucks. And that makes such a difference on the front line, and not everyone realizes it. In this game, it appears that everything rearms immediately. It's not like Wargame where there's a cooldown timer before things can rearm and repair after they've been in combat. You know, there's like if they're panicked and stuff or stressed. I'm not sure that applies here. I need to do some testing, but from watching these replays, I just seem to see them getting immediately rearmed. And when you're on the front line with infantry like Flam Patrons and RPOs and everything else, that's making such a difference to their combat capability, because they can just keep firing those flame weapons. It makes them so powerful, and also the ability to rearm and repair tanks on the front lines that quickly. It all adds up to being very powerful. Looks on the move there, still hunting for that command. Yeah, there's no way he's getting back into Charlie. There's a lot of stuff there. And there's more and more reinforcements coming towards Alpha. He's going to have a challenge getting back in here as well. I admire Bubble Baathist for trying, though. But I'm just not sure with the 39th there's feasibly a way he can do this. I'm just looking for... Is that mortars? It is mortars. It's Tampellerin. Won't do much unless it gets a direct hit, but it will. I suppose it is forcing him to move his units about. Loads of Sapri coming in now. Would be very useful in the town if they could be micromanaged effectively. BMP3s devastating against infantry, so as long as they're used carefully. They're getting way too close to all those Jaeger though. They're just going to get popped. He's got them side on as well. Where is he taking them? He's getting very close to that Leo. And Leo's damaged, but it'll still kill these close range. One hit, one kill. MW1 coming in will wipe out. MW1 did not drop. Now, either that was a bug or he targeted the infantry and then lost targeting on them. Oh! There it... Oh, beautiful strike. BMP3 killed the tank because the tank started targeting the infantry instead of the other BMP3. I don't know if it couldn't see it or what, but it got close enough to fire both its cannons. Yeah, you know, it's a bit of a funny one, really, because this tank gun is technically a tank gun and it's kinetic, but it doesn't actually have armor penetration value. It just has HE damage value. So I'm not sure how much damage that will actually do to a tank. It does make me wonder what the calculation would be there. High explosive tank gun. So not penetratable, but will still do some damage to a tank. It's all about that autocannon for killing that tank there. Yeah, there's very little I can see going to happen now, unfortunately, for Bubble Baathist. I mean, he's sending all this stuff up here, but I don't quite know why. I mean, coming in from the top end of the point probably isn't going to go any better. Jasp has ground superiority, air superiority. There's 24 minutes left to go. Rocket coming in, a rocket chopper I should say. Not a bad choice, but there's way too much AA there. Not only has he got the Tornado F3 and no AA himself, he's also up against a Jeopard, Ihawk, Jeopard. Unfortunately, this game's over. It's going to be a points victory either very soon or a surrender. But commiserations, Bubble Baathist, that really well played at the start. Really interesting how you spread out your units. I was very impressed by you bringing loads of stuff down here because people don't always expect that. And you got into Charlie. You pushed Jasp out for the most part. It's just unfortunate that your reinforcements weren't quite as on point as Jasp's. But really impressed. I don't think I've seen you play before, as I say, unless you changed your name. But really good. But unfortunately, Jasp just pulled the plug on you. Oh yes. Oh yes, there will be many a terrible dad pun and joke where Bubble Baathist is concerned. Well played, Jasp. Really good game, as always. Good positioning on your forces. Good call-ins on reinforcements as well. And I'm really loving the fact you had some recon at that point. Yeah. Significant disparity in kills to losses, which was quite apparent by what was on the field there. What made a huge difference for Jasp? He had supply trucks everywhere, reinforcing and repairing his vehicles and infantry that were getting damaged. Did him a lot of favours. Let's have a look at kills to losses. The Lux did well, the Leopard did well, the Jaeger were doing it pretty good. Pioneer Flams, the Hand Flam Patron doing good, Leopard, Jaeger Alf, everything was doing reasonably well. Tornado got all three of those Motorstrelki. So all in one building. It's always a risk. On the other side, nothing too stand out. BMP3 did a good job. BMP3 should be very pleased with the Leopard 185 kill with the cannon as well, the autocannon. And that's it for this game. Thank you very much everyone for tuning in. Well played, guys. Please tune in tomorrow for the second game in this matchup. And I will try and keep the dad jokes to a very minimum. Have a great weekend, everyone.